Hi, everybody. I'm David. I'm the CEO and founder at Wow Digital. We're an agency based in Toronto. We work with nonprofits and charities, helping them grow and scale and get to where they want to be through digital marketing. And I've got a really big, hairy, audacious goal, which is to improve the lives of 5,000 people through innovative digital, no, work with 5,000 organizations to improve the lives of 100 million people is really the goal. One of the reasons I'm here is to help empower you with some education, information, etc. And hopefully you walk away with at least one tidbit of good insight, hopefully many more than that. But if you go and you take something that I talk about and you implement it, or you talk to somebody in your team about it, you're helping me get closer to my goal. So thank you a little bit selfishly there for helping me get to my 100 million people. There you go. All right. So Kathy, you're the media director for a nonprofit animal rescue shelter. Facebook page was put in time out because you're posting too frequently. Interesting. Usually social media platforms want people to use their platform
That's what I
six,
thought
seven,
too.
eight, 10 a
They have
day,
cut
10
us,
times a day.
they have cut us back to 4 posts
I
a
wonder
day.
if there were some people that follow that had unfollowed, or there's an option in there to say see less content. And I wonder if maybe there were some people that did that. But I'm curious, when did you open the Facebook channel or account?
1791.
Facebook, I think, came around 2006.
Okay. Our organization started in 1991. So
Okay. All right. So you got a Facebook page at some point. And then when did you start? I guess how frequently were posts getting published? And then when did you jack that up to 6, 8, 10 times a day?
the founder of the organization started the Facebook page. She passed away. I've been with the organization for the past 11 and a half years. We have promote one cat, one dog a day. We have 7 different programs. We have grooming training, vet clinic, thrift store. I forget what the other one is off the top of my head, but so we promote one of those each day of the week, plus a cat and a dog. Any fundraiser we may have going on, any asks, any thank you notes. Plus, in the past 4 years, we started a mobile veterinary clinic. So we promote anytime the mobile is going out to those locations, we promote that because people have to click on a link to sign up for an appointment.
Okay. So at some point you went from posting, it sounds like 5 or 6 times a week to 8 times a day. Am I understanding that?
That's been gradual, yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. So you slowly built up more and more. I know Meta does have some spam rules. So it probably wasn't a human that went and did that. It was probably just an automated limit that was imposed because of
Right?
their regulations. What you could do is connect with Facebook support and ask them, like, why was the account put on a restricted number of posts, to see what's happening with that. Some pages I know can do 25, 30 posts a day without any issues.
Seen media pages post that many. I mean,
Right. So,
I didn't understand why we were suddenly limited to 4.
so when you're dealing with media, let's say the National Post, right? All right. Bad example, because in Canada, Facebook's actually limiting media from posting. But let's say there's a big company, Red Bull, right? And they've
Okay.
got a huge following. There's probably some limits or algorithms around the automated rules that get triggered based on the number of followers and number of interactions that you're
Okay.
getting. So work on trying to get more interactions, more people liking the posts that you've got, posting more of the type of stuff that's getting more engagement.
Okay.
And if somebody posts a comment, reply to it, because the algorithm.
I always do. Yeah, I
Okay,
always do
great.
that.
That's great.
Yeah, even if somebody just posts a thumbs up or a heart or something, I always even respond to that.
Yeah, and when you respond, you're logged into Facebook probably in your own personal account, but when you do
Right?
that, it would be from the business page.
I use
right?
Business Suite, correct? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
we also post the exact I post 6 to 8 on Instagram and have never had a problem with Meta with Instagram with our number of posts.
So I would work on posting 3 to 4 like really key ones. And then when did that limitation get applied to your account?
Back
Very
in
recently?
October, I
October.
believe.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I would work on posting however many you can, but maybe if you can do 4, maybe today you do 4, tomorrow the day after you do 3, then you do a couple days with 4 and try to game the system a little bit, but
Okay.
I would definitely
Okay.
reach out to support and find out what's
How
going
does
on.
reach Facebook support?
Yeah, there is. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to see if I can find it here. I'm just doing a quick little search in my Facebook here.
It did in one of the messages that we received, it said that Facebook considered what we were posting as spam, but it's not spam. It's everything we've been posted for decades. So I don't understand.
So it's probably that some people that follow your organization were tired of seeing the stuff and they clicked on the thing that says show less of or this is inappropriate, that kind of thing. So in Facebook, you can go into your profile. So in the top, if you're on desktop, if you go to your profile icon, which is in the top right, then you can go to help and support. And
Okay.
under help and support, you can take a look under account status.
Okay.
It's one of the options in there. You could also take a look at the support inbox, see if they've tried to reach out
Uh-huh.
and see if there's any messages in there. But there's also like at the bottom, there's like a give feedback link. And so you can take a look in there and send them a message.
Okay. And how do I respond to a boss that says, I don't care. I don't care what you posted. Post this anyhow. They all know I've explained and explained that
Okay.
we're in timeout with Facebook, and the response is, I don't care. Just post it.
So
I'm
the
not sure.
question then becomes is this is not a virtual background behind me. It looks like it. I have some lights. It lights it up all nice and fancy, but I've got a content planner calendar on the wall
Okay.
here. I would suggest doing something very similar. It doesn't have to be a physical board like what I've got. You can do it digitally. You can do it in a Word doc, a spreadsheet. It doesn't really matter. Plan out the posts for March and for April,
Okay.
and then ask the powers that be, what is it that they want posted and when do they want them posted? And go, okay, each day we can only have, these are post-it notes on my board, but each day we can only have 4 post-its on it. So
Okay.
what's the priority for the posts? You want me to post this? No problem. We have to not post something else. Let me know what you don't want me to post.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Cool. Okay, so we've got some other stuff. I'm just going to scroll up in the. All right, so Kathy, we got that one there.
Thank you very much.
London Ray, yeah, Facebook support exists, but it's like super hard to get them. Absolutely. Nicole says, I'm a team of 1. Where should I start as I have limited funds and people? I have volunteers. I could assign them. Okay, so Nicole, super loaded question there. Where should you start with what? Is it a brand new organization that you just started and you're looking to get into marketing, or you've been around for a few years, you have a website? What's the lay of the land?
Sorry, I should have been more specific. Forgive my voice is going in and out. So not a new organization. We've been in existence for 3 years now. We took over from another organization and they were in existence for 28 years. And so we did away with their name and we just combined and created a whole new nonprofit organization. So it is an after school program for kids. We also are doing some summer camp things. And so we are wanting to advertise that because we have 50 slots for students. We do have a website, one that needs to be revamped. So we're out there regarding that. We're on social media, but then I'm trying to figure out where should we be, being that we are that type of organization. And then how often should we be doing whatever it is that we should be doing? So marketing is just not my thing. I can lead an organization. Marketing is like a whole different animal to me. It's like a foreign language. So that's why I hope that gives a little bit more context.
Oh, absolutely. And that was great. So thank you for sharing that. The first thing, and you probably have an understanding about this. So when we talk about running a business or like my agency, for example, or your nonprofit, there's a few things that we need to understand. We need to understand who the end person is that we want to interact with, or we're providing service to, or that we're reaching out to for donations, or we want to have them come and sign up for whatever program or service we're offering, like the summer camps or the after school programs that you're talking about. And a lot of people think, okay, demographic and geographics, right? Obviously, geographics are really important for you because you're offering local service. So there's going to be a catchment area, whatever that radius is from your organization. Demographics, maybe it's single parents, maybe it's not, maybe it's low income, maybe it's not, but understanding like those demographics are really important. The third thing that people don't really think about or even know about is something called psychographics. And psychographics will help you identify exactly what you're looking for. Like, where should you be? Where should you be talking about this? Who should you be talking about this to? I have a podcast. It's called Nonprofit Digital Success Podcast. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you haven't. Maybe I'll get a couple new subscribers to the podcast out of this. But episode 16, we're at 135 episodes. Episode 16, which I'm going to drop a link in the chat, in the Zoom chat for you. I talk about psychographics. So I would definitely start thinking about that. It's how you can really understand the pain points or the need that these people that you want to connect with are. And part of that is understanding who you're talking to and where you need to be talking to them. The great thing about anything to do with kids or animals is that stuff does really well on social media. Unfortunately, Kathy got a little bit limited there on Facebook, but being able to show pictures, show little video clips, that kind of stuff is really important. Imagine you have an email marketing list. Do you have one, Nicole?
We are building, we had one, we're building it now in Zeffy. So we took it from DonorSnap and we're now in Zeffy because DonorSnap was just too much. Zeffy is a little more my speed. Yes, we are developing it and we have some.
Okay, that's great. And how often are you sending out emails?
But not often at all, which is
Okay.
part of the problem with one person like running everything. So that's what I wanted. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I have people do that are volunteer that, will fit with the volunteer position as opposed to me trying to make it a full-time job for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I love Zeffy. We're partners with Zeffy. It's a great platform to use. I would aim to try to send out one email a month or every maybe 4 to 6 weeks. That would be a great thing for a volunteer to be working on, is putting a draft of the newsletter together for you to take a look at. You can give them some insight. Oh, you know what? It's March. We need to be talking about all the summer programming that we're having because we need to fill up these spots so we know that we have people coming and we can actually run the camp, right?
Yes.
So you definitely want to start with that like ASAP and get out there on social, leverage your email marketing. And the other thing that a lot of organizations hopefully should know about, but a lot of them don't, is there's a Google ad grant. So you can get $10,000 per month in free ad spend from Google. So if you could apply for the grant, it's usually maybe 1 to 2 weeks before they get you approval and all that type of stuff. But you can run ads for the camps or for your after school programs, etc. And Eli's been super helpful and been dropping a couple links in the chat. So thank you, Eli, for that. So that's where I would start, is pushing out to social media, leverage your email list, and apply for the Google grants so that you can start advertising and running traffic back to those pages. So on your website, you should have a page that talks about the camps. You probably do. You want to make sure you have a clear call to action on that page to register or sign up or get more details, whatever that happens to be. So yeah.
Thank you. That was awesome. I appreciate it. Both you and Eli. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, let's see here. Where am I in the list here? I think I've lost my spot in the chat. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Okay. Any other questions? Did I miss anything in here, Eli, around questions?
Oh, nothing yet, but we'll wait for the next one to pop in.
Yeah. So I guess I could talk a little bit about the ad grant. So $10,000 US a month in ad spend. It does take effort to work on the ads because once you create it, Google will run their algorithm on and tell you, hey, the ad's not good enough. It's at like 43% or 86%. And there are some AI features built into there to help you improve it. So there are recommendations that you could, that you can apply to the ad grant. So Eli's got who could support with setting up Google ad grants. It's very easy to apply for it. The setting up is the other part. We have some plans at Wow Digital around getting ad grants, actually like building the ads for you. And then part of that is let's look at your website. So it's great that you have an ad up and running, but when somebody clicks through that ad, where are they taken to? Are there call to actions on the page? Does the ad make sense for where you're driving traffic to? And that's part of what needs to happen. So if you're going to do the ads on your own, every couple of weeks, you want to log into the account, maybe once a week, like once you start a new ad. And you want to be careful. There's something in Google Ads called PMax, which is Performance Max. That will eat through your budget like nobody's business. So you want to make sure that you're putting some limitations around how much money each ad can spend per day. So if you figure, okay, the average month is 30 days. Yeah, there's some with 31, there's some with 30, there's one with the 28, sometimes 29. But if you figure, about 30 days, you can take 10,000 divided by 30. I can't do the math in my head at the moment. So 10,000 divided by 30. So you can set it to like a $330 a day max, and that would be the 10,000 for the month. It is a little bit hard to use up the full 10,000. I believe anecdotally, just from my experience, if as a nonprofit, you're using the Google ad grant and you're running the ads with that versus the same ad that you're actually paying for, the ad that you're paying for is going to get more visibility, but free is free. So even if you get a little bit of visibility, it's better than nothing. So yeah, there's YouTube videos of it. If you want to learn how to set up ads, you can use AI to help you figure out, all right, what are the next steps with it? Or you can hire an agency like mine, for example, that can help with ads. And we've got some other folks. One of the other things I do aside from Wow Digital is I'm also a business coach and mentor, helping about 240 agencies grow and scale their businesses. And there are some ads, Google ads, Facebook meta ads, folks that I mentor and coach. I could always pass along some references or places for you to connect with. Okay, so I guess I've got a question. If you guys want to, okay, before I get there, some good survey form tools. Awesome. Great question. If your website is using WordPress, I guess I'm curious if you want to type in the chat, if your site's using WordPress, just let me know. Or actually it'll be helpful if you just type in the chat, like what platform your website is using. So Candace says that you are. I've got some really good recommendations for the WordPress side, and then there's other platforms as well. Lovable and Wix. Okay, a couple WordPress sites. Cool. Okay, so from the WordPress side, there's a lot of different form plugins that are available. So you've got the one that's my top choice in the WordPress side is called Gravity Forms. There's a lot of add-ons for it. One of those is a survey add-on. You can connect it to Stripe or PayPal or Authorize.net or a bunch of different payment gateways. If you want to sell things on the site, like if you have a course or something like that, you can do that as well. So Gravity Forms is the one that, bad pun, I gravitate towards, but there's one that I've used in the past for a couple of years called Ninja Forms. That one's pretty good as well. There's one that a lot of people use that have been around for a long time, but it's actually not really that great and it's not accessible unless you're a computer geeky programmer type person. You can make it properly accessible. It is called Contact Form 7. So I would probably avoid that one if you could. If you're not in the WordPress ecosystem, SurveyMonkey is a really great platform to use. That's what it's built for. I believe they have a free tier. Let's pop it open here, SurveyMonkey. Another one that a lot of people use is called JotForm, and we've helped our clients set those up as well. If you sign up on SurveyMonkey on an individual plan, there is a basic one that allows for 25 responses per survey. Otherwise, you're looking at $300 something a year, 360 and up. But if you get in touch with them, I always say, always ask, because the worst thing that happens is they say no. That would be find out if they have nonprofit pricing. I don't remember if SurveyMonkey does or doesn't, but I'll drop a link here for SurveyMonkey into the site for the individual pricing plans. Yeah, so JotForm is really good. as well if you want to do surveys. Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got WordPress. I've been building and designing and developing with WordPress since 2005. At one point up until recently, the White House website was done on WordPress as well. It is open source, which means that there are inherently some security risks with it. But if you keep it up to date and you have backups in place and you have some free security plugins, really simple security or fence installed, those will help lock it down. You want to make sure you don't have a user with the username admin. You want to make sure that your passwords are long, like 10, 12 characters, and you've got random ASCII characters in there as well. You want to make sure you have two-factor authentication. So all those kind of security measures that you would normally do. But we've built sites that are several thousand pages, and we've built one-page sites with them. It's secure, it's quick, and if you're doing self-hosting, you don't have to pay anything for WordPress licensing, which is super helpful when we're running organizations like your nonprofits on a shoestring budget. That's important. Okay. All right. So Amy says, we send out newsletters through Wix every month, get about a 30% open rate. I'm not seeing many donations coming in from those emails. What strategies and tips do I have to help increase donor clicks? Okay. Amy, what does your organization do?
We are Revive Outreach, so we have a couple different categories. One is low-income housing, so we renovate properties and help support families. We also do career development and coaching, job tutoring, a variety of stuff. One thing that we have going on in the next month is a Dress for Success kind of job fair for high school students in the inner city. And so we've sent out a couple different newsletters and we haven't had very many donations. And I've watched other TED Talks. And so I feel we have the right things to click on, the right links. We have QR codes, we have pictures. So I'm just not sure what else we need to be doing.
Okay. So you're not alone in this. From about February of 2025 until now, a lot of people, unless they're really well off, they're being very cautious with how they're spending their money. Between inflation, uncertainty in financial markets, more recently, like the last few days, in terms of like international conflict, a lot of stuff is going on. What we need to do is we need to get people to understand the importance and where the money's actually going. So one of the things that I like to talk about is how can we gamify the donation? So instead of, hey, we're running these projects where we've got this Dress for Success, we need your money, please donate. A lot of organizations are a little bit generic, is what I'm going to call it, for the donation. If you made it more specific, if you said, we need money for 10 outfits to help the Dress for Success program succeed in this way or whatever, then you're helping.
That.
Okay.
We actually did that. So we did bow ties and belts and stuff like that. So we were going to make bags. And so then we have even sponsorship opportunities to what $50 does, what $75 does. And even that wasn't very successful.
Okay, let's take a step back for a second. A 30% open rate is actually pretty good. Usually industry standard is like 2-3% open rate. So you're killing it with that. I'd be curious about the design of the email. I'd be curious about the messaging of the email. So a lot of times, a lot of organizations don't want to let the problem of we need the money to come out, right? Like you're asking for donations, but like the Dress for Success program, let's just use it as an example. If it could not happen without $1,000 in donations, right? Going out and saying, we need this to happen. Here's the benefits. Here's somebody that was in this last year when we ran it, or I'm presuming you've run it before. Maybe you haven't, but here are some of the people that are going to be participating, what they're looking forward to. We need your money to make this event happen. Or some organizations, when they're on the cusp of actually having to close because they're basically like out of money, going out on a campaign saying, we need your support in that kind of way. A lot of people don't do that. So it might be worth maybe on the next email that you send out, the next campaign, maybe do some A/B testing with the messaging and send out to maybe 5% of the list this email. Wait to see the open rates on that, the click-through rates on that, and then tweak the messaging a bit, send it out to another 10%, see the results on that, and then send out to the rest of the list, whatever you feel based on the results of those first 2 tests showed the most benefit for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But 30% is really good for an open rate. So kudos. We just need them to actually take that action. Again, I think it comes down to design a little bit. You want to make sure that's a button, not just text that's hyperlinked. So people want to click things that look like buttons.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
hi.
Hi.
In talking to, I think it was Amy, you might want to look at your donors and see what specifically their mission is in order to maybe have them donate the funds that you want from the specific items that you want and make a list. If you're working, depending on where you are, let me put it that way. There are foundations and or service groups who would possibly help you with your mission.
Well, I know for the belts, we have gotten donations, so that's helped take care of that. But yeah, I will definitely think about that and reach out to more specific people. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you're interested, I do have a webinar, actually a workshop that I run that's like how to get corporate sponsors for your nonprofit. I'm not asking you to go and sign up, but if you want the workbook that I use in that, if you want to send me an email, just david@wowdigital.com, I can send you over the workbook. You might find that helpful in order to figure out how you can align yourself with local organizations or local businesses to get them to buy into helping you. And that goes for everybody, not just Amy. If you want the workbook, just let me know. So RM Jackson, do you have to use the 10,000 per month? Can it be for the year? Typically, Google says if you don't use a large part of the ad spend, it doesn't roll over from month to month. So it's 10 a month. If you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing. But typically what they say is if you don't use it consistently, that they have the right to revoke the grant. You could reapply for it. I haven't seen them revoke the grant from anybody for not spending the money. It's really hard to spend all 10,000. A lot of organizations, if they're doing this themselves, if they don't have anybody that's really focused on it, they usually end up spending like 800 to 2,000 of the 10,000 a month. I haven't seen any of those organizations that we've worked with lose their ad grant.
Okay, because right now I am reactivating the nonprofit that I have. And since I've moved from where I originally set it up, I haven't unpacked everything. So that's why I was like, can we, because I know once I find my notebook with everybody, then I'll be able to do it. But in the meantime, that 10,000 would be helpful. And I believe in expanding it over the course of a year rather than placing it in 1 month, because I don't know what the funding cycle is in this particular environment. Whereas where I came from, you've got it where you fit it. And it was constantly going, yes.
Just to clarify for everybody, the Google ad, they don't give you $10,000 a month. They credit your Google ad account with $10,000 a month. So it's not like they just give you money and you can spend it whatever you want. It's specifically for spending on Google ads for their platform.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What's a good CRM software that's easy to learn and train people? Yeah. So you have a spreadsheet, there's Tableau. So a lot of the donation platforms like Keela, Easily, Zeffy, GiveCloud, etc., a lot of them have CRM built into it already. So I would take a look at whatever platform you're using. If you have one already that does accept donations, I would connect with them, because in the ideal world, it would be great to have a CRM that you can run against the donations that are coming into the organization. So for example, in the CRM, you can build smart lists around, all right, who are the people that donated over $1,000, over $20,000, over $500? And you can create these brackets. And then when you push out messaging, maybe to the donors that that donate more, maybe send out a little bit different messaging to them than the folks that are donating $2 a month to you. So I would start there. If you don't have a platform, I'm happy to meet and chat and discuss. We're partners with 7 different donation platforms. So we can talk about what do you need right now, what do you need down the road, and make a recommendation for you. But having it in a spreadsheet, there's a lot of risk around that. If it's in a spreadsheet and your computer dies, what happens, right? You want to make sure, obviously, you've got backups and all that kind of stuff. What happens if somebody steals your backup and they have that list, right? So you just want to be careful around having a spreadsheet with that. If your website is running WordPress, there is a plugin called CiviCRM, CIVI CRM, that you can use. I will grab a link for that. It's just CiviCRM.org.
And the reason why I'm asking this question is where I came from, I could touch the donors and the foundations where I could get them. They knew me, I knew them, I had developed a relationship. Now I'm in another area, so I've got to pretty much start from scratch. And I figured since I did everything pen and paper back then, I want to work a little smarter going forward.
Yeah. For your email, are you using Google or Microsoft? Or you're muted, Arm?
I'm using the email that I set up 20 years ago when I started the nonprofit.
I would recommend either applying to Google or to Microsoft. They both have programs for nonprofits. So I know 100% on the Google side, you can get a proper, like, professional looking email with Google Workspace, which gives you Google Docs and Sheets and all that type of stuff. There are some CRMs that integrate directly into there. So for example, there's one called Streak, which is streak.com. It does get pricey though if you've got more than just yourself using it. It does add up because you have to pay for a license for everybody that's using it. Monday.com, Phyllis is mentioning. There's another platform out there called Go High Level that you can look at as well, which does email marketing and web and CRM and all the jazz there. It's not meant specifically for nonprofits, but it's fairly inexpensive on that side. Yeah, at worst case, I wouldn't have an Excel sheet on your computer. I would use something like Microsoft Online, have a spreadsheet online there, or Google Sheets there. That's like the easiest, cheapest solution.
Microsoft that I signed up for before I got on this call, and
Okay.
I used Google in the past.
They both do the same thing. I have a personal preference towards Google over Microsoft. We're partners with Google and Microsoft. They both do the same thing. From the administrative technical standpoint, Google's easier to work with. But yeah, from a CRM, if your website's using WordPress, I would look at CiviCRM. If you don't have WordPress, you can host with CiviCRM directly if you wanted to, or you can download it and just set up a site specifically just for the CRM piece. But there's a plugin for WordPress to allow it to connect in through directly.
Okay. Like I said, I'm reactivating in a different state.
Yeah, that's what I would do. There's plenty of organizations in the state that you're going into, business and nonprofits. I don't know what state it is, but there's plenty of them there. It might be worth connecting with an organization that's doing something maybe a little bit similar but different and seeing if you can partner with them. Maybe you can even just ask them, like, what platforms are they using, and just have a little conversation with them. Usually what I've found in the past is talking with other similar organizations. They're very often open to having a conversation to help out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Arm, can I tell you about organization? Oh, okay. Eli was asking RM on that. Okay. Yep. This will be recorded. Okay. So Candace, the Google ad grant, the 10,000 in ads is 10,000 a month. So it's $120,000 a year. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't roll over from month to month. So you have 10,000 March 1st, April 1st, it gets refreshed back to 10,000. Doesn't go to 20 if you didn't use it at all. The ad grant is not to match you with other grants. It's an ad grant for you to spend money on Google Ads. So when somebody searches for, let's see, summer camps for underprivileged children in Chicago, right? If that's your organization, would show up as an ad at the top. So that's where the ad grants are for. You're not actually allowed in the ad grant to direct traffic to a page in your website that sells something. So you could direct them to a page, just as that example, about the summer camp programs that are available. On that page, you can have a link to go register, but you can't direct traffic directly to that registration page. So I hope that helps clarify some stuff. Oh, and Eli, perfect. CiviCRM event in October. Brilliant. Look at that. It all comes together. It really does. Cool. Anybody else have any other questions? There's other stuff I could talk about and give you some insight around other things, but I'm happy to answer questions if you have. So I guess while I wait for maybe another question or two to come in, let's talk about websites for a moment here. There's two things that a lot of organizations typically don't do, actually three, that they don't do well on their websites. The first one is analytics. So setting up, for example, Google Analytics, which is free, but also a Google Search Console. They renamed it. It used to be Google Webmaster Tools. Now it's Google Search Console account, also free, so that you can properly track the traffic that your website's getting. So you know what is actually working on your website. What are people searching for in really, like, Google's the big one. So I'm not going to talk about Bing and Yahoo, but it'll get data from there also. But what are people searching for that's driving them to your website, right? What you want to do is you want to leverage that data to create more content that's driving more traffic. So if you published a blog article a month ago and you went and looked at the analytics and you're like, oh my gosh, this is getting a lot of traffic. Is it coming from search? Is it coming, you shared it on social, you pushed it out by email? Where's the traffic coming from? If you're getting a lot of traffic, create more content that's like that. Promote it in the same type of way that you promoted that. And a lot of people don't even look at their analytics until they want to redesign their website 3, 4, 5 years down the road. But creating content that's interesting for people will drive more traffic. That's really what it is. One quick little thing around that is people are going to Google. I am guilty of doing this. Eli's probably guilty of this as well. But you go to Google and you search for how do I blah, 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 or where can I blah, 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 right? People are asking questions. So if you're posting a blog article, the title of it, make it a question that somebody's looking for, that, or they might be looking for information and insight on, because you'll come up more likely as a match for that result, right? And when you are a bigger percentage match, you end up being higher in the search ranking for the algorithm. And that's what you want to do. You want to rank higher so that your content's found. You're not on page 8 of results. I usually don't go past page 2 of results in search. That's that. So the first thing is analytics. The second thing is accessibility. A lot of people have not tested their website for accessibility. So what is accessibility? Accessibility is not everybody browses the internet with a mouse, right? Some people are blind or deaf and blind, and they have different technologies, assistive devices, software that helps them navigate the internet. And that's one of the things that we need to do, is we need to make sure that the websites that you have as an organization are accessible, so that basically what I say is, if your website isn't accessible, then you're not serving your constituents properly, right? It would be like having a store and having a big step in front. Anybody in a wheelchair, anybody that has a hard time with their knees or whatever, that's why there's ramps, right? We want to make sure that your website has the digital ramps in place to allow access to everything that you're
Really?
providing to
Not
everybody
especially name.
that you're up there. And that's the second piece to it. And the third piece is about having clear call to actions, right? People land on your website. Again, goes back to the analytics. What are the top 10 pages in your website, right? You want to take a look at those and make sure that it's very clear the action you want people to take when they land on those pages. If you look at the last year of your data or the last 6 months of your data, you want to make sure that people are actually being told what you want them to do next. A lot of people, it's a little bit sad, but a lot of people don't read. You don't want to have paragraphs and paragraphs of copy unless you're more scientific or news type journal. You want to have bullet points. You want to have short content, very skimmable. You want to make bold, different headings, sizes, that kind of thing. But you want to have clear call to actions. Like if you want them to make a donation, if you published an article about the benefits of children engaging in social interaction and being involved in sports, let's say, and the benefits, the sports psychology and the benefits and all of that, you might want to have a call to action that's donate to this program, or donate pylons for the soccer tournament, or something relative to the content and something very specific. And that will really help you out. So those are the three big things that a lot of organizations don't do well on their websites. So I guess Rose, Phyllis, Tyler, Maria, Shelley, Claire, anybody have any other questions? Gunit, sometime. Eli, you have any other questions?
No, nothing pressing from me. And we're coming up towards end of time. What do you think? People do have time to squeeze one last question at us, or if not, we'll wrap it.
Yeah. Something I would really encourage everybody to do as well is to get some clarity around the security that you have in place for your digital properties. What do I mean by that? For your email, do you have multi-factor authentication, 2FA, whatever you want to call it, enabled? So for example, we have somebody that comes, I'm in Toronto, we've got a bunch of snow, I'm done with winter. That's besides the point. We have somebody that comes and plows our driveway for us in our path that we have. They want us to interact. In Canada, I don't know if you have Interact in the US, but in Canada, we have Interact where we can like email money to people, right? And you have to log in and get it, but you can set up auto deposit. He didn't have auto deposit enabled. Somebody hacked his email account and deposited the money into their own account. Now, thankfully, it was a Canadian bank, so they're able to track it back and he got the money back. But if you have people sending money to you electronically, you want to make sure that it can come in automatically. You want to make sure you've got security on your email. Likewise, with your websites, you want to make sure that you're lowering your risk. So having multi-factor authentication for anybody with an administrative login for the website, but also check backups. Make sure that you've got backups in place that are recoverable, that they've been tested. Maybe once a quarter you test them, but how often do you have backups of your website? With us, we run backups 4 times a day. So every 6 hours there's a backup. So God forbid something did happen, you'd maybe be out maybe half a day of work. Maybe it's like a couple posts on the site, easy enough to restore. For our higher tier clients, we do backups more frequently, like every 2 hours or hourly. So it's important to do that. Oh, all right. We've got a question here from Ganit. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. Working with a nonprofit, and your question is low-cost strategies for small organizations. Absolutely. The lowest cost strategy is leveraging social media and being able to post there and connect with people and find the right places to go to. If you're looking for a low-cost website, we had a number of people that came to us with really small budgets, and we ended up building a platform called Mighty NPO, and I'll drop a link to that in the chat. Give me one sec. There we go. This is a done-for-you website platform, so you do not need to do anything. You go, you fill it out, you sign up, you fill out a form, we get your information, we do the website for you. Any future updates, they're all included in the cost of the website. There's no additional fees on top of that. We'll manage all of it for you. And if you're interested, what I'll do is I'll create a coupon. We have it's $1,000 setup fee, and it's either $99 a month or $990 for the year. So you get 2 months free if you pre-purchase. What I'll do is I'll create a coupon. We'll call it, I don't know, TechSoup. And that will take $250 off the setup fee. And that coupon will be good until August 1st. If you're interested, that coupon I'll set up right after this call, so it's ready to go. But yeah, happy to help out in that way. It's pretty low cost on that side. If you're looking for anything lower than that, you can look at Wix or Squarespace, or even GoDaddy has some web host builder type things, but they can be a little bit cumbersome to work with and to get them to look how you want, but totally doable. Does that help you, Ginny? Okay. Awesome. Any quick, maybe it's not a quick answer, but any quick questions before we end the session today? No? Okay. All right.
Then let me jump in and say thank you so much, David, for offering this really valuable community service. Once a quarter, we have David come in and we get to ask him all the most difficult questions, and he gets to dance for us and give us like the insight from his whole career. Exactly. He's unstoppable. He's friendly, and he is willing to answer your questions. In fact, if you check the chat, you'll see that David's available for a free 20-minute consultation. So if you're trying to figure out, like, how do I address some of these gnarly digital marketing problems, reach out to David and let's see if he and the team are a good fit for some of your problems. Amazing. And with that, I'll shut it down and I'll send the recording by tomorrow.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody, so much. Keep up the great work. Keep changing the lives of the folks that you work with, and keep on being successful.
Thank you.